I have so many different interview stories, but I'm going to share this one because I feel like it makes the most sense for the advice you're asking. I used to work at Amgen, and my commute was about 3 hours one way, and I wanted to find a company that was closer to my house so I wouldn't have to commute as much because I was also getting my master's at the same time. Full-time student, full-time employee. So in interviewing with this company, I actually wasn't offered the job until 7 months after my interview. I was one of the first people they interviewed, and I believe they interviewed 15 or 16 people after me, and they decided that they liked me out of all of those people. And I think the reason for that are the 3 tips that I generally follow. Number 1, I always make a personal connection to the company. I feel like having a personal connection to the work that is being done sets you apart from other candidates. This company was specifically researching sickle cell, and I have sickle cell trait, and I have family who have sickle cell disease and sickle cell trait as well. So it's always been a personal interest of mine to work in that industry or that therapeutic area anyway. I think it's a lot easier to do this in the healthcare space because a lot of people do end up working in places where they do have a connection. After working at this company, I ended up branching into oncology, which is very hard to get into. But the way I got into oncology was selling to the interviewer that hematology and hematologic products are essentially regulated in similar ways as oncologic products. So I would be able to translate that experience into oncology. And that's how I got into that. And that's how I ended up getting into cell therapy as well. Just bridging and coming up with different strategies in the interview to tell them that, like, no, look, I can do this kind of work. If that's making sense. The second tip I follow is speaking with passion. I know some people will say speak with confidence, but I feel like when you speak with passion, the confidence will follow. If an employer feels like you're confident in your own abilities, they're going to feel more comfortable in letting you do the work. The third tip I always follow is to always allow the interviewer to talk about themselves. In this specific interview, I went on the LinkedIn pages of all the people I was going to interview with, and I picked one thing from their profile that I could connect to. One person that I interviewed with was the CAO, which was the Chief Administrative Officer, and I saw that she went to UCLA and got her MPH concentrated in epidemiology. So pretty much for my entire interview, she spent the time talking about what her MPH really did for her and how it's helped her in the industry. And I only asked her one question. All I asked her was if she felt that getting her MPH has helped her advance in the pharmaceutical and biotech industry, as I am currently pursuing my MPH. She was shocked that I even asked. And for all the other people I interviewed with, I found something else and allowed them to talk about themselves. And my interviews always go over because the interviewers always end up talking about themselves longer than they anticipated. How I market myself is always going to change based on the circumstance and based on who is interviewing me, but this is essentially what I follow.